Okay.
You should let that
Well,
track play out a little farther.
yeah, I know. Maybe I'll automate it someday. All right. Hey, I'm Jared.
I'm
That's Adrian.
Adrian.
Yep. And this is Jared's Barn, the winter edition. It's just too cold out there. If you've seen some of the other streams, I mean, they just were. It's brutal out there. So not only do I not want to go out there, but I can't seem to get anybody else to come over here. So we're gonna try something new. Adrian and I are. We're just gonna chat and go over some topics. The show we're gonna do here is called Five versus Five. Uh, Adrian, why don't you tell us what Five versus Five is?
Well, if anything we're trying to do is, I like to do stuff that's live, off the cuff, a little bit raw. So we figured let's bring in five topics and talk about them, not produce anything into any extent, and just like present them, see what the other person thinks. Because if there's anything that me and Jared have, it's opinions on things, and we like to talk about it. We might as well share a little bit more with the world.
That's right. So let me just go over some of the ground rules here. So yeah, it's we're gonna call out the topic, and we've got a little counter, and we got 5 minutes to talk. So when the 5 minutes over, a buzz's gonna go off, and that's it. We're moving on. So five topics each, and we're gonna start right now with Adrian. You want to go first?
Yeah,
I
I'll
got
go
your
first.
topic here. Okay, so let's see. You are. I got your first topic here: the Lost Kitchen. Okay. Oh
Lost
no, date
kitchens.
box. No, date box.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm wrong.
okay. Let's go
Okay.
with date box. That's fine. Pulling it up.
Date box. You ready? Here we go.
Yes.
Oh no, I made a mistake.
Uh, oh yeah. Timer's at
We're
three
already off
seconds.
to a. It's gonna go. Sorry. See, we're already off to a terrible start here. Let me fix that. This is awful. Okay.
This is good. This is what we
This is
pay
good.
for.
This is all right. Here we go. Try it again. And okay, there's a count. Go.
All right. So one of the things I've noticed I've kind of succumbed to in quarantine is I've definitely been caught off guard by ads, especially on Instagram. And I was really surprised to see this one called Datebox. And, you know, in my household with how busy we are and how you can't really go out and do anything, I was really looking for an opportunity to do something here and of like bring something to the house and that we could have a date night at home. So I was really glued in. They send you a box, you pay a little bit of money, and it's kind of like another subscription service.
Just so
And
you need another subscription service, right?
exactly, you know, pay another something a month. But I was little, you know, like all these little activities they have. You see, like they show couples having fun, and that's kind of what I was looking for because right now we can't have a date night. So I looked into it, and it's about $30 a month. I didn't want to just do it one time through, so I signed up for three. So that ended up being $100. So now the problem with it is that it's a set time they send it to you once per month. And so when I bought it back in January, I was supposed to get one in February right before Valentine's. Well, the unfortunate thing is they're based out of Oklahoma City, and all the winter weather and all the disruptions and going through DHL for the shipping, I have yet to receive the box. So I've already paid $100 in advance back in January, haven't received a single thing. And now I am on the cusp of wanting to cancel because I think I've now just been scammed out of my first subscription. So that's
Nice.
I've been looking for. I wish I was hoping to get it before now and talk a little bit about it, but I don't have anything to report back. It sounds exciting. It sounds like there's lots to do, and you can do stuff with your spouse, and you know, make a meal, make an activity, and have you know a good 2 or 3 hours done. But right now, I got nothing to report back.
Okay, that's great. You know, I these. Like what it reminds me of? Like, what was another one we had? I had a Stitch Fix. That was another like one of these subscriptions or whatever, and it was cool at first, but then I would like forget about it, and then the box would show up, and I'd be like, no, no, I don't want this, you know,
Yeah,
because like
it's
then you
it.
know like everything's in, it's gonna be great, and you're like, I don't want to like I would end up like if you're like, oh, I'll take this whole box, it's like $200 or $300. I mean, it's kind of brilliant on their part, but like, man, this
Yeah.
stuff just starts racking up the, yeah,
Yeah, the cost. I mean, I figured, you know, it wasn't. I didn't think it was that much because it's like the next 3 months are taken care of, and for them, I think it's easy because they could, you know, Valentine's comes once a year. They probably have everything already geared up, and it's literally just a warehouse. Somebody just literally ships boxes out. But I'm just disappointed how it just hasn't gotten here, and I'm not getting the response back. But maybe in a couple weeks I'll have a different opinion about it. But yeah, it's just one more thing that's a subscription. Kind of like the Jelly of the Month Club,
Yeah.
or you get the shirts in the mail once a week of your new outfit and all that kind of thing.
Man, like whoever came up with this like subscription thing, like it's like subscriptions are like prescriptions. Like it's just another word for it. Like, yeah, we here take this thing and you're guaranteed to come back every month and buy it. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's really amazing. It's like, well, I mean, it's genius because you always got a money flow coming in. You don't have to worry about selling something. You've already got them on the hook.
Yeah.
And for me, they got that too. So I've already canceled my little renewal option. I've already clicked off, but I may look into it after the end of 3 months and see.
What's in
But
the box?
yeah,
What is it?
well, in the box, it's supposed to be various things. It just depends. Like the one that I thought was intriguing was like make your own sushi, and it was very disposable in the sense of I don't really have to go out and collect a whole bunch of stuff. I just kind of get little bits of it, and not that way I'm not spending
That's
$40,
disposable
$50.
sushi?
Yeah, well, the items to make the sushi, but
Okay.
it's just kind of more that I don't want to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on all the items and everything I need to put together. I'd rather just have the $40 version and have it show up to my house and put it together and just have like a memory to share.
Okay, cool. Well, doesn't sound like it's going that great. Was your was your wife disappointed that it didn't come, or did she?
Yeah, we
know
were
about
both. We were. Oh yeah, she knew about it. I totally showed her the ad, and I told her how I was sucked in. But it was exciting. It was something we were looking forward to, and unfortunately, it hasn't worked out. And we were looking forward to it for a nice Valentine's, and that's kind of why we didn't plan Valentine's the way we did. But yeah, hopefully it'll get here in about 2 weeks or so. I don't know.
All right, well,
And that's
that's
the
it.
sign.
We're moving on. Okay, so now it's my turn. Let's see. My topic is, we'll call it the aquarium. All right, I'm going to start my count. Here we go, 5 minutes. All right, so aquarium. Let me cut to this. So a friend of mine at work, this guy I work with, we were talking about just videos and just crazy ideas. And then he was like, telling me how his wife watches this videos of like just people studying. Like she studies, his wife studies, and then she puts this on in the background. Let me just play. I don't even know. I'm just gonna play it. So this is it. This is the video. 7.1 million views. And it's got this little counter going on here, I guess, that lets them know when it's time to take a break or something. And then it changes angles. Like, that's it. This is it. We're looking at the video. Like, how... I can't even watch any more of this. I mean, it's kind of brilliant, actually, if you think about it. I guess... The internet is just such an interesting place. Like, what... Could you imagine trying to explain this to somebody, like... I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, like people actually make television like, yeah, I'm going to have a channel where I'm just reading or studying. There was like another one I saw. I mean, I understand like people playing musical instruments or something, but there was like another one was like somebody just doing arts and crafts or like, I guess it's like the look in on the eagle in the nest or something. I don't know. Like it's just wild. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, do you have any?
Yeah,
I
think. I don't have any videos like that.
No, I mean, like, not that you have any videos, but you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's just odd.
It's probably going to be a video of me just sitting here listening to you talk.
Yeah, it's like this feedback loop.
Yeah, it's definitely this kind of on-demand background noise that there is. It exists. I mean, I could see already in your watch list you have the lo-fi hip-hop, the same kind of
I like
premise.
that one. This is cool. Like, this is...
But let's be real, that's the same exact product.
I guess
except
so.
that one
That's
continually it continually gets the same loop. And how many views does that have?
This is live. It's got 27,500 people watching this right now. And then of course there's like this ongoing chat over here going on. It's brilliant.
Well, it's literally like an online live chat radio, and it looks like there's so many imitators. To me, it just feels like another imitation of that.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think that this is like the modern radio? Like if it's It's just another way to reach people, like with music or something?
Yeah, I think so. Like you think back in the old days where you used to call the radio station and do the request, and then remember like in the '90s, you pick up the phone, the rotary telephone, and call in and push 001 with a 900 number and get your music video selected for the next selection. And then now we've gotten to the internet age where anything is on demand, and if you want to have some background noise while you're reading a book or hanging out with friends, you don't want to have to pay for Spotify or anything like that. You just need some kind of mild background noise. I think that's just what this is. It's just atmospheric on demand.
What happens if I type in what if I just type in background noise, or background?
Well, be careful. You might get some of that ASMR kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, those are incredible. Those breaking news background. Okay, well I guess it knows I'm a broadcaster. Well, whatever. That doesn't help. Oh, and,
well, I mean, yeah. If you type in background music, I guarantee you'll find. Yeah, I mean, look, you looked up aquarium. You might as well look up for a background aquarium just to put on your desktop.
All right, hold on. Let's see. So I just typed in background music. Let's see. Winter jazz piano. What's this?
Yeah.
Focus music. 6.5 million views. 6.2 million. What is this? Adrian, you could just get your keyboard out and just like put a picture of a mountain that you steal off of Google Images or something, and there you go.
Yeah, you could. I'm not gonna sit there for 6 hours, but yeah, I guess I could do that. I could make something like that.
The study girl's probably making more money off of that video than she. Like, imagine you have like a channel just full of videos you study, and you're making like thousands of dollars a month or something.
It's interesting because I'd be curious to know. If that person, whoever runs that channel, could be like, hey, if you want your latest track to be on my channel, and we list the credits, just send me a little bit of money and I'll include it the next broadcast, that kind of thing.
I guess if you're established enough, you can do that. I don't know. Maybe in the beginning maybe she just thought it was cool or something. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, your turn. So let's see. What do we got next? How about Lost Kitchen?
All right, Lost Kitchen.
Hey, before we go that, let's see. We got some comments here.
Oh, let's see.
What do we got here? Mark Purinton wants to know, where's the barn? I was misled.
Jared's basement in my laptop.
Man, it's cold out there. What else we got? We got, looks like Josh is watching us here. Oh, he says, brilliant. Great, thanks.
Well,
well, maybe we'll get some better comments. Why don't you go with your your topic? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So we got Lost Kitchen, and Go ahead. 5 minutes.
All right. So just like everything else in quarantine, about the only thing you can do is watch content online, and we've subscribed. We have a Roku TV, and it's real easy to subscribe to any sort of channel that's also demand and all that mess. So we paid for the Discovery Plus because we're fans of Chip and Joanna Gaines, and we paid the $5 to get a little preview of the Magnolia Network. And one of the shows that we watch, you've already seen the whole series, or at least what's up to date, is the show The Lost Kitchen, which is really interesting. I'll just play a little trailer and we'll talk about it afterwards.
I'm Erin French. After spending years trying to get away from my small hometown of Freedom, Maine, I not only came back to live, I opened a restaurant.
There's a lot of people. They're all outside. Are we ready?
My kitchen family and I had no formal training, no idea what was going to happen. But we trusted that everything we needed was right here. And soon, people were coming from all over the world to visit us. Every week is a new story. New ingredients.
Bottoms up. It's delicious.
New diners. New challenges for me and the team. The only constant is, it's home.
So, first off, what makes me sick is like the quality of like documentary features like this or series is just like so high end now. Like you can't get away with just like carrying a camera around anymore. You gotta really have a crew and a team that knows what they're doing. So like this stuff is really beautiful to look at. I mean, the B-roll looks great. The production value is high. but then I start dissecting like the content, and it's interesting. So this girl is based out of Freedom, Maine, and it's a beautiful place. And she does this little restaurant that's a little unique. Like, you can't call for reservations, you can't go online. You have to send in a postcard once a year, and it's a lottery, and they get like 20,000 entries. You have to make yours, then people make them unique. They put a letter with it, and I don't know if it has any sway. I couldn't gather. They make it seem like it's random, but I think there's a little bit of pull. But they just pull from this one time a year, and then you're lucky to squeeze in between like April and October to eat here.
Where's this place?
Freedom, Maine, up northeast.
Oh, right, you said that. Yeah.
Middle of nowhere. Like their biggest thing is a general store and a post office that's in the area.
Dude, I bet the town hates them.
Well, that seems to be the online banter about it. Like, it looks really cool to make it exciting, but like she doesn't really afford anything to the local community other than a few vendors she uses for like, ordering the $2,000 tuna or like some of the organic vegetables she gets. But we're gonna certainly try to go out there if we can, at least while we're still up in the Northeast. Maybe we'll get picked. But I've already read the reviews. Like, I think it's about $100 a plate. And it gets funny when you start spending that much money for a place setting. I don't know if my money is persuading me how good it is, because I've eaten at the Charleston before, and there you can easily spend $300 or $400, and I mean that place is great. I've been blown away by it, but I'm also thinking, if I'm paying that much money, I would think I would want to be blown away by how great the food is.
You got to wonder, like, how long can you ride that wave? Like, how long can somebody be like, okay, I have my TV show, and then people, you're beating them off with a stick, and then it gets to the point you just turn back into a regular restaurant, or does that, like, last forever? How long does it last?
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of, because one of the other things we watch on Discovery Plus is diner drive-ins and dives. I'm just trying to take advantage of the $5 extra a month now I pay for this stuff. And then you realize all those restaurants that are on that show, people visit them all the time, and they advertise as seen on, Food Network and all that kind of thing. So like, just like with these documentaries, it's almost like they build this brand of this is who we are and this is what is fascinating, and then it just becomes a tourist location. Like, I'd imagine in a couple of years, she can move on and go develop some other restaurant, and this one would just be great because there's a TV series you can watch about it.
I'm gonna interject in real quick because I know we're almost out of time here, but I'm going to say I don't think you really need, like, a big crew, because you got, like, here, I got something pulled up here. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get to it, but let's see if I go to the, like, look at this diet. So this is, like, one of my favorite YouTubers. Like, I guess there's a difference between a YouTuber and, like, a TV show, but.
All right.
I mean, this guy's literally just, it's just him and a camera, and it's brilliant.
Wow, this just is. I'm getting some sort of digital noise up there on the firewall, and I'm getting positive on the battery.
I'm just going to play this for a second real quick.
That's a good sign. And no fire yet? I just got to quit tripping over this.
I mean, this video has 2.7 million views. I mean, this guy's hysterical. So, like, I don't know. I know we're getting off topic with the other thing, but, like,
I'll finesse my point. I'm not saying that can't be TV worthy, but that this particular network is a brand and they have a reputation, so they're gonna look very well finessed and polished.
Yeah.
Final point.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on here. So this is my next topic is called My Generation. Okay, I'll bring up my graphic here. I'll start my counter. All right, so I saw this on somebody's social media posts, and I'll just bring it up. I'm not going to bring up their social media post. I'll just bring up a similar one, but it's basically the same thing here. So it's like, you're not going to be able to see that, but I'll just read it, okay? Or maybe I'll read some of it. Okay, I am Generation X. Anyone who was born between 1964 and 79, we are the generation that played outside until dark. We are the first to play video games and the last to record songs off the radio. Blah, blah, blah. We programmed the VCR. We're so great. We're the generation of Soul Train, Dukes of Hazzard, blah, blah. Okay, this is no... I feel like I've seen one of these for every generation, and it's just like I don't know. And then, people start sharing on it and commenting on it, and they're like, yeah, kids today don't know anything. Like, I read this, and it's like, I think about when my parents or, like, my mom tells me about, when she was a kid, and you can only listen for so long, and then she starts going off on all these stories and things. I don't. It's just really hard to connect, and I'm not like trying to pick up my mom or anything, but it's like, it's just people don't. What is it that they're trying to get with this? Is it just I think it's like this feeling of like wanting to belong to something, and wanting to be like that you're surrounded by other people that get it and everybody else doesn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
Yeah, I think maybe there's some identity there. I mean, everybody wants to be able to identify with something that makes them unique and maybe superior. I don't know.
It's the us versus them kind of thing. Like, we're all in this club and nobody else is in the club. Therefore, we're right and you're wrong. At least that's how I interpret it.
Yeah, and I think social media kind of spurs that a bit. It's
especially
weird.
When it's like copy and paste if you agree. Like, oh god,
share,
how unoriginal. Share
this. Yeah, and I think that does something. I think politics rides that wave a lot too. You want to be identified to a left or the right, and people push that agenda, and it creates. You don't necessarily have to read what's on that screen. You just identify with it automatically, and it could. You don't read the fine print in that case, and then you share it, and then that's what is unleashed into the world of your identity.
Right. Or it's like a picture of, like a kid on like a 3-wheel plastic trike bike from the 80s, and be like, like if you know what this is, or, kids from the 80s get it kind of thing. It's just it's just like cringeworthy. I don't know.
You know what I do realize is I read that post, and I guess I'm not in that slot because I was born in '81.
Well, I was kind of annoyed by it because it says it was between 64 and 79. Yeah. And I'm sitting here reading all this stuff, and I'm like, bitch, I did all that stuff. I had to blow in the Nintendo, and I remember programming my VCR, and I remember having to learn computers.
Well, they mean like they're thinking like the Activision days, or what was there was one console where you had to literally put like a plastic film on the screen because it was just electronics, did whatever.
I don't know about that one.
I mean, you talk about video games, like they span for years and years, and I remember seeing some of the stuff on like Angry Video Game Nerd, where they told one of the consoles you just like post up, you put a little like plastic film on the screen because they couldn't create the graphics for it, so they kind of reimagined it in that sense. But yeah, totally. I identity stuff, I don't get it.
Oh, my mom's chiming in here. She says,
well, because you called her out.
Yeah, I called her out. She says it's called sharing to let you know about our lives. Yeah, no, I get it, Mom. I'm sorry. I'm not picking on. now I upset my mother. I'm sorry. That wasn't the point. See, but that's the thing with this stuff. Like, you can't even it's such a sensitive topic, because then you you poke fun in it, and people, they're like, well, that's my generation or something. I'm just digging myself in deeper here. Help me. It's getting bad.
Well, I could talk about it in another retrospect, but I don't want to get the work beep on me, because that definitely relates in that area too. Like when I was back in in so and so era, where we did it.
Back in
my day. Yeah, right. Yeah, identity stuff. It's rough. It really shows kind of maybe how. I'll controversial opinion. I think it shows a little narrow-mindedness in that you don't understand what other people are having to go through. That even though it doesn't identify with you, there are different hardships that people go through today and grow differently. But we could still relate to.
All right, moving on. So your turn. What do we got here? We got Snowpocalypse, right?
All right. Yeah, this one's gonna be fun because it's a really short video, and
let me get your box up here. Here you go.
All right, so definitely one of my favorite websites, and yours too, I'm sure, is Reddit. Yep. And one of their subreddits that's always interesting is WTF, and obviously the real relevant thing is what's been going on in Texas with the winter storm. So this was just interesting to watch, because when I looked at it, I was like, that looks like my old apartment complex from college. But let me just play it real quick. And just seeing that is just like, wow. And you could see plenty of stuff everywhere on the internet, all these videos, and a lot of apartment complexes suffering problems like this. And it's just nuts to see it because, this has been an active discussion in our house too, because we have a lot of family in Texas, and it's hard because, Texas doesn't do a good job of like proofing itself for catastrophic events, and then like the unregulation of the electric grid and so forth. So this shit happens and it becomes a problem because now what do you do? And now you start asking for help. Quite frankly, I've known in Texas with how fast they build, they're cheap. And I think a lot of the reasons this is why they've suffered these problems, because they've made assumptions and taken risks of, we're never going to have a winter storm. We're never going to have pipe burst. Like up in the Northeast, the builder's grade here is made to actually deal with cold weather. The pipes are insulated to deal with cold weather and freezing in the freezing in the pipes. But down in Texas, it never goes below 32. And if it does, it's probably within a shorter period of time. Not like this where it's a deep freeze and people don't know how to manage it.
Right. Well, I'm sure homes are built cheaply here too. They just, they have to...
Right.
Yeah. No, I
true.
totally
Very
get
true.
it, yeah. But you're right. Like it's definitely the mindset of like, oh, that could never happen to me. It's just like when it's like when the stock market's going up, it's like it's never going down. Or like when somebody tells you need to, like, I don't know, fix something on your car, and you're like, that's never gonna happen. It'll be fine. And until it really all goes wrong, and then.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a balance. I mean, I don't know. This is also somewhat political because this is in some people expect this or accept this as an isolated event. Others would say it's climate change, and my perspective, it is climate change. This is extreme weather that's starting to impact the country, and we need to start embracing that this may be the new reality of stuff that a lot more stuff that are risks that are happening. It's going to happen more frequently. I'd be curious to know, like, I would say, I think Texas probably got more snow than Maryland, maybe. I don't know. I have to look at the metrics,
yeah.
But and it's kind of unusual because I'm used to all shorts weather down in Texas. And then up here, I think I've worn shorts more outside than what they're going through right now. I don't know. It's not like I'm really keeping up with it, but I noticed that this big winter freeze was definitely shocking, and I know my parents have been going through it for sure.
And I don't think it was. Oh yeah, sorry. I think it was more than just. It was more than just Texas, right? Like we're talking. Oklahoma
the whole
and stuff.
all the South.
Josh has a message. He says nothing in southern Oklahoma and Texas was ever built for sub-zero weather.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely correct. They're used to sunny days and maybe wind because of all the flat land, which is why we have all the wind power down there. But this was here it is again, just like in Ellicott City a couple years ago. The once in 100 years event. This is kind of the same way, but I really think it's going to be more frequent, and definitely going to be more mindful of what kind of house I might be purchasing down in a couple of years down in Texas.
Man, there was definitely some political faux pas on that one, between like people leaving town or being like, hey, it's your fault, or like blaming people. There was a lot of stuff on social media of like people blaming other people, like, well, you should have been better prepared, or like you got to do what you got to do to save your family or something. Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, it's hard because I remember the first day they got snow, we found out about it. Everybody was enjoying it in Texas, and then they realized it was sticking around, and then there was more coming. Then it was like, oh shit, we got a problem. So I think some people were kind of caught off guard, and then to see all I was going to show videos of like people raiding the stores. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But at the same time, I'm not on the ground. I don't know how much that's being shared is everywhere, or is it just in certain locations? I don't know.
All right, what else we got here? Let's see. Okay, let's talk about. Okay, here's one of my topics. It's Bitcoin. We'll talk about some Bitcoin. I'll start my clock.
Yeah.
Come on, start. There it goes. Okay. So Bitcoin is at right now 56.
New high today, right?
Yeah, it went up to like 57. It's at 56,503. Let's see here. Yeah. I just want to say to folks who are thinking about jumping onto this, it's not too late. It's not. Because, you know, you look at this and you think like, man, I missed out. Like, oh, I should have bought it last year. And then like every time it jumps, you still think, oh, I should have bought it. I should have bought it. Like, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, when I first got into this, it was like back in 2013. And like, you know, if I had bought Bitcoin back then, even if I was just like, screw it, I'm just going to put $100 in this. Like, yeah, I'd be rich. I'd be a millionaire. But that didn't happen. And so, and same thing in like after the crash in 2017, you know, you could have said the same thing. Like, oh man, if I had bought it when it was 3,000, like it would be. And you know what? I think we still got runway to go here. Like, yes, it's an incredible amount right now, but if you just dollar cost average this, I mean, think about it. Like, okay, I know what it is, and maybe you know what it is, but the majority of people, like, if you mention it to them, they kind of make fun of it and they make light of it, like, oh, that fake internet money. Like, it just hasn't. It's only now just starting to come around to adoption. So, I'm not going to get into like what Bitcoin is or like what it does. I mean, you know, like that's a whole nother topic. I just wanted to say that I think we've got a long way to go with this for two reasons. One, I don't think, you know, right now it's more of just a storage of value, and I don't think it's done going up. And then you say, well, okay, you can't really use that as a currency because it's not stable. Yeah, that's right. Like, it has to stabilize before people will start using it. And then the other part of it that's complicated with the transactions is that there's so many middlemen now. Like, originally when it was designed, it was supposed to be a peer-to-peer, like point-to-point transaction with very little fees. And now you've got all these middle companies that are there to, you know, take a piece of it. So I think the space still needs to define itself. But anyway, all that to say that I think if you're interested in this, like, it's not too late. I don't know, do you hold any crypto?
Yeah, well, I will say that it's definitely been a sleeping bear for me. Like, I remember that big rush, was it 2017?
Yeah.
There was a bunch of us obviously communicating with each other and so forth. And then it kind of, once that kind of crash happened and correction, I kept my portfolio alive, and now it's certainly woken back up, and it's been amazing even just the past week, much less a couple months. It's been very interesting. I've certainly been, you know, getting back into it a little bit. Fortunately, I don't have as much time as I used to getting into it, but it certainly it's definitely become a more mainstream topic, and people are talking about it, and especially the people that are talking about, the ones that were like, they didn't even know it existed back in 2017.
You know what's funny is you always have like you know when it's going to go down, you have like the grandma clause, like when your grandma calls you up or somebody you don't know like calls you and says, you know, hey, what about that Bitcoin? That's how you know it's time to sell or time to get out or, you know, hold your position or something.
That's funny. So you're telling me one of these days you're going to be like 60, 70 years old. You're going to see that post in social media that says, you know, back in my generation, Bitcoin was only $3,000.
Yeah. Back in my day, Bitcoin was only $56,500. Man, I could have bought it then. You know how rich I'd be?
Yeah. Man, but you realize how many coins are out there. Like, I do have a few alts in mine, and I know Chainlink has done pretty well. I think that's probably about half my portfolio right now.
And I don't even know what you do with
that. I just had it. That's the thing, is I just had this stuff back from 2017, and now it's woken up, and I just have it. So I don't know what the hell to do with it right now, but I'll keep holding on to it. HODL, you know?
Yeah. I got nothing else really on that one.
Well, you got 34 seconds.
30 seconds. Well, what else could I say about Bitcoin? I actually have been thinking about like taking, you know, not a ton of money, but like, so I have like my pot of money, and then there's like, you know, the money that is like 401k, TSP, that kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm like seriously considering just being like, hey, let me take a certain percentage of this and just start dumping it into Bitcoin. Like, why the hell not? You know, what do I got to lose?
Well, I mean, you know, the dollar itself could also fall, and then, you know, you're going to lose it one way or another.
That's right. All right, what do we got next? So, fail on that topic. Cool tech for Adrian. Cool tech. Adrian. All right, I'm going to start your clock. Go ahead, go.
All right, I'm going to play this video, and you're going to be excited to see it.
What's that?
What does that look like?
Let's see. What is that? Outdoor P3 linkable high brightness. Oh, no way. Come on, man. Don't put that away. What did we say? No.
This is cool though. It's so apparently this stuff is waterproof. That's what's amazing about it. They show a dude. I should show the one. It's not. It's cool technology. It's not waterproof.
No, I like it. I like it. I just it's now it's like, oh, you know, you.
Yeah, here we go. Here's
I already know where this is going.
Check this out. So the guy's like,
when did this come out? Oh, it's recent. Okay.
Oh yeah, fairly recent.
I wonder how heavy it is.
I think they said 40 pounds.
You know what that means? You can put that on the stage and get it rained on.
Hey, no work. I didn't say anything about work. I think the estimate is $1,800 a screen.
Man, that is cheap.
I don't know. Don't quote me on it because I was trying to dig, and unfortunately, every website you go to is like, send us your email for an estimate. You know, we'll send it right away. And
oh yeah, of course.
But it was interesting how the linkable option was
that's neat,
really cool.
Well, so you could do that. I mean, you could do that with traditional LED panels. It's just neat to see it like that, I guess, because you can.
Well, this was interesting because you can change the shape of them too. So if you wanted them all like, there were some other options where you can like tilt them all 45 degrees. That's another way to do it. It was just interesting. They're almost like Legos at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I could see it being used for like, you know, you put it in front of your restaurant or like out on the curb, like, or you know, it looks like the kind of thing that could easily be transported back and forth to. I don't know.
Yeah, I think these guys also make the technology to like put it on the side of a bus.
Yeah.
It was just interesting. Oh yeah, here we go. Like another option they had is like taxi cabs.
Oh yeah, just put the thing on its side. Hey, I lost you. Where'd you go?
Well, I'm trying to expand the.
Yeah, you.
Now do you see? Oh, great.
No, it's all black.
What the hell? Hold on. Oh man. That's what I get for.
All right, don't do that. Well, we learned something.
Oh man, I really you got my audio.
No, you really did it. Here, let's see what do I gotta do.
Oh man, it's not showing the feed.
Nope.
Okay, hold on.
I'm just gonna let me see if I reload it. Okay, I got you. See, are you in the full screen still?
No.
Yeah, it's giving me the spinny thing.
The OBS looks the same. Oh man, I ruined it. That's what I get.
Okay, well, that's the end of that topic. So let's bring that out of here. All right, well, moving on then. Cool. All right,
great.
I guess I'll do one more and then we're done.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's my next topic?
Lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned. Well, hey, this is why we do this stuff. All right, so my topic is GameStop, GME.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just a little bit of brief background on this thing here. So this is, long story short, there's, you know, for the longest time it was mostly like the institutional investor, and then if you wanted to invest like Joe Guy, there were ways to do it, but it wasn't as mainstream. And in the last couple of years, you've had a lot of these like app exchanges come out, like say like Robinhood, where you know you could be literally like sitting on the bus on your way to work, like trading stocks. Yep. So of course, along with that came over the years like an entire community of people who want to talk about this kind of thing. And there was a subreddit where people were just recommending to buy stocks, and there was this whole thing about what they call like the squeeze, where like there was a short sell, like there was GameStop was one of them, where basically like it was being the stocks. It's complex. You know what? I can't explain it because I'm not a. That's the buzzer from the other one. Forget that. I'm not going to try to explain this because I'm just going to sound like an idiot. But the point is that there was a lot of, you know, people were talking about, hey, you should buy the stock, right? And so everybody did. And when it was going well for the little guy, let's just say, the whole thing got shut down. Like Robinhood stopped people from buying and selling the stock and, you know, having action with it, basically just giving the upper hand to hedge funds and, you know, big institutional money. And so now it's all starting to come around. And I just wanted to bring up I've got a clip. This is a clip of, let me see here, go to this. Okay, so this is a clip of this guy, Keith Gill, and he's kind of like one of the big guys in this subreddit. I'm just going to play a little bit of this.
When I wrote and spoke about GameStop on social media with other individual investors, our conversations were no different from people in a bar or in a golf course or at home talking or arguing about a stock. Hedge funds and other Wall Street firms have teams of analysts working together to compile research and analyze shares of companies. Individual investors do not have those resources. Social media platforms like Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter are leveling the playing field. The idea that I use social media to promote GameStop stock to unwitting investors and influence the market is preposterous. My post did not cause the movement of billions of dollars into GameStop shares. It is tragic that some people lost money, and my heart goes out to them.
All right, I'm just going to stop it there because so he was on, you know, there was a hearing and all this, and it was like, you know, him trying to just basically make the point that, like, hey, you know, like, just because a bunch of people got together on the internet, that doesn't make it like we're not doing anything wrong. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think this is like the first time it came to light that, like, you know, people on the internet can move a market, that they can all get together and agree on something. I mean, it's just like when you can't get somebody to come pick up your garbage, and you post you try to call 311 or something, and nothing happens, but then you post a picture of it online or something like that, and then all of a sudden they feel like shamed, like they have to do something. I just thought the whole thing was interesting, that it's all coming to light, and that we're able to, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Just that the power of a subreddit, a bunch of people just deciding to do something to all buy the stock, like, somehow brought Wall Street to its knees. And we won't really ever know, like, what happened in the back, because they're not gonna, you know, they have unfair advantage where they can look at subreddits and read comments and, like, basically know what the hive mind is thinking. We'll never know what they were thinking, but I just thought it was an interesting play. You know, they say it's not over. I pretty much kissed my money goodbye, you know, but whatever. But I don't know. Were you in on this at all?
I was watching it just because I follow Reddit, and they were certainly kind of boasting each other that they were able to change. It certainly was an active conversation. I was just curious. Do you know how high GameStop stock went? Was it?
It went
300?
up to 4 something here. Let me actually, I have it right here.
So it dropped back down. It corrected itself.
So
because if he's reporting, if that was, well, I wasn't tracking. I know it kept going up and people kept talking about it, but then they couldn't actually sell anything.
Real quick, so, like, yeah, here's let's see here. All right, so here's, it's at like 43.26, and I bought, God, somewhere
Holy
over. Oh, it's not even on the chart. See this orange line right here? That's where I bought at 150. So, I mean, whatever. I lost my money, so boo-hoo. But power to the internet. I think it's cool.
I think it's very cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, since your screen sharing went away, I guess we can't talk anymore.
Let me try one thing. Let me see if I can get it, since the link is still up. Let me, if I did this, and let me do this, and new screen share. I can make this work.
Oh, you're back.
Right,
there it is.
Yes. Okay, so that's my next topic.
What did you do?
Don't ask.
Great.
Because I don't know.
All right, so what's that topic so I can bring up the graphic?
It should be deconstructed.
Deconstructed. All right, here we go.
Yes.
Deconstructed.
All right. So what I love about the internet is I love the fact I learn more about music online than I ever did probably in college. Not to say I don't value my college education. That there was a lot of invaluable tools there, but I think you learn a lot. I think I've learned a lot of the stylization that you see, and this kind of stuff is more like pop and hip hop and so forth. A lot of the stuff I have the tools available, but I don't actually do it regularly. So this is a song that's been like on a playlist, and it was just really interesting to watch. So these episodes are called Deconstructed because it's the producer behind the music, behind the beat. They literally go through their files and show how they actually constructed it, and I wanted to show a little bit of that. It's really hilarious.
Music want to work, and I was in this like dilemma, like what do I do? Do I focus on what to do with Whoopty right now, or do I work? But luckily, CJ and his team, they were just being helpful and like relax, we know what to do and stuff like that. So basically, if you take the San Amre sample and you pitch it up by 600 semitones, you get this. When you hear it, you hear the sample, it's like, I don't know, it almost like brings memories you've never had. And as soon as I heard it, I loved it. After the sample, I always go to the hi-hats. On the main hi-hats, I added like some high notes. The next sounds are basically just some more hi-hats to fill in the blanks. Here are some more, some rows. The final hi-hat.
Let me stop it for a second because it's I love the song. Don't get me wrong. It's just they're kind of working with this series like in a COVID environment, and this is kind of what they're limited to where if you want the guy to talk for like an hour, he's literally got to break down a song that's fairly simple, and he can't get into the production side of the vocals. He just has to talk about all this stuff. Here, let me jump a little bit ahead so it gets more to the actual tune.
And then for the third pattern, I changed the first half of the 808. Without the kick, the 808 is like nothing. But same goes for the kick, But when they're together, it gives you that like push, that rush. You always need a kick on the one, so it like punches, and then some kicks in between.
This is what you watch all day long?
So next I pulled up the sound.
I love this stuff, man. And granted, this is a very simple product. I'll show another one another time, but this one is like, this tune is like on the charts right now. And
this is like a pop song right now.
Oh yeah, I'll pull up the actual song.
Yeah, see, I'm like have no context of what we're talking about here.
Well, that's even better because now when I play the actual tune,
it sounds like a bunch of bumps and clicks.
This is the checkers game.
Watch this ad.
Well, hold on. I'm going to pull the ad away. All right. Here we go.
Happy on the
Oh, that song. Okay.
Loyalty over royalty. Y'all niggas know the vibe.
Whoop it, bitch, I'm outside of some movie. Blue cheese, I swear I'm addicted to blue cheese. I gotta stick to this paper like blue sleep. Bitch, I'm by my chicken like it's a two-piece. You can have your bitch back to your...
And, this goes into like some of the other stuff I've been following is like Timberland's little Twitch stream. That's been great.
Oh, that was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of amateurs send all their beats, and that's really what it is. Like, as simple as a premise, these tools are working with, like, I will give them a lot of credit. They spend hours on this stuff, like, these little choices of like where I'm going to put this one particular sound. It's really, I'm not going to compare it to like other means of writing music, but they really are taking the time to invest in where does the best, the best quality decisions in there, because when they release these tunes, man, they're pulling in serious bucks for them. That's for sure.
So, what's interesting is that it kind of reassures me like that there's actually people out there creating this stuff, because a lot of people I know that make beats, they just take other people's loops and just rearrange them. Like, I don't think that's music making, but when you show me that, it's like, yeah, it totally is.
Yeah, it there's here and there and everywhere. Like this producer is a little more constructive. There's some other ones where you can tell the guys spend a little more time on figuring stuff out. But I love watching because I'm seeing it and I kind of imitated my own stuff.
All right, well, we're out of topics. We got some comments. Let's see.
More comments.
I don't know. My wife says that'd be a sweet contra line.
It does sound very contra bassoon, right?
My mom's got another comment here. She says nothing. Let's see here. Let's try it again. Just pretty simple, huh? I don't think she's quite understand. Mom, it's like the person you just saw was like making a rap video or like a rap music. The bed for it. I know it's hip hop, but for her it's rap. But even though there's somebody singing over it, there's music under it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. That's the crazy stuff about that music is like so many people involved. From like, whoever the sample gets credited, the guy who comes up with the samples for the hi-hat get credited. It's like teams of people come up with this stuff. It's really crazy.
All right, so are we out of topics? I
so.
got one more. I was supposed to talk about contractors.
Got a bonus.
Bonus.
No, it's 5. That's 5.
All right, hold on a minute here. All right, this will be my last one. I don't really have any. Visuals for this one here, but I just want to talk about contractors for a hot second because, man, what a time to be a tradesman. I think we've entered this place where like everybody gets a trophy, everybody goes to college, everybody's super educated, but there's just not a lot of people who are actually doing anything like with their hands. So like case in point, I've been trying to get heat in the barn, which is why we're doing this inside show. And I've had contractors come out and they, you got to like beg them to come out. And you're constantly calling them like, oh, yes, Mr. Morgan. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was going to call you. Yeah. Okay. Well, great. I got you on the phone now. When can you come over? Well, I could come over tomorrow. And so you finally get them here. And then they look at it and they're like, yep. All right. Well, I'll let you know. And then it's like weeks go by and you contact them again. Hey, how's it going? Oh, I haven't had a chance to do that. Like they're just so, I mean, I don't fault them. I don't think that they're bad people. It's just like they're just so busy that what's the incentive to get to that next piece of work? You're probably going to line them up in the order that they're going to make you the most amount of money, and you're
right.
looking at whatever job thinking like, oh yeah, I'll get to that when it slows down or something. Like I had another one where our well went out, and I just looked at the number on the well and called that because that was the people who put it in, and they came out and they did a good job and it was fine. And the guy just like, handed me some business cards and he was like, all right, just, let your friends know. And I was like, oh, you guys don't advertise? Do you have a website or anything and or social media? And he's like, nah, we don't mess with that. And I was like, you don't need to do. He's like, oh, we have so much work. He's like, it's just word of mouth. Like we're just busier than ever. I'm like, and he's like, all right, see you later. I was like, holy.
That's a good problem right there.
Yeah, it's a really good problem to have. I mean, have you had problems with contractors or getting people to come over your house? Do anything?
Well, what's hard is there's just no price list for stuff. Like, I can't go on a website and find okay, I just need this done. How much do I expect to pay? It's always a guess. I remember when I had my roofing done, I had heard estimates that cost from $4,000 to $10,000. And I'm not saying it's not warranted, but it's just like, how do I know? I don't know anything about roofing. The only fortunate thing I was able to look up was, I know that certain times of the year they don't get as much work, and so it really worked in my favor at that point to where I was able to get my roofing done for $4,000 at that point, and I was willing to do it quickly and in cash, no less.
Cash is good.
but like in February, that was great because it's like they're not working. But when it's hot of summer and when people and the rain comes in, that's when they're busy, and then that $4,000 could have easily been $7,000 with the upgrades I got. So it's yeah, that's my only experience. And I certainly I've done stuff around the house with plumbers, and usually if they're just like a guy that just does stuff on the side, they've been the most cool because they have a great skill set and they really kind of just enjoy doing it more than making money.
Yeah, I guess it's just amazing how there's there's so many houses being built and there's so many just places that need to get fixed. I mean, I guess it goes back to the way, you know, homes are, like we were talking about Texas and Oklahoma, like how crappy some of these houses are built. That there's always going to have to be a need. Like every time I see them putting up like another 200-300 mega complex apartment building thing, I'm like, man, who's going to maintenance all that stuff? Like, that's just getting in the way of what I need done in my house. Like, and believe me, I'm by no means afraid to jump in and fix stuff on my house, but there's just certain things I can't do. Like, I can't, when we ran out of water, like I can't dig up the well, and I can't replace a roof, and I'm not gonna, there's just certain things you just can't do, and you're just at the mercy of what these folks want to charge, and we'll get to you when we get to you, buddy. Don't worry about it, you know?
Yeah, I wish I had that problem as a freelance musician.
Well, exactly. That's exactly what I was kind of trying to get at. Like, as a freelancer, you know, with video stuff, you know, you have to like sniff around and like, you know, listen and talk to people and schmooze, and you might get the right guy, and then you put together this whole thing. You know, you spend hours putting this proposal together just for them to be like, all right, cool, we'll think about it, and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
You know,
but when it comes to plumbing, though, it's like, I mean, but that's real. Like, that's a problem that can cause more problems. Well, if somebody doesn't need my music, then yeah, we'll move on. It's not a big deal.
You know what the other thing is a lot of people think that they can make a video. They're like, oh, I got an iPhone. For some reason, they'd rather spend thousands of dollars on cameras and editing equipment. But when it comes to, like, you know, hooking up a pipe or something, they're like, no, I'm not messing with that.
Wait, yeah, but hold on a second. Weren't you the one that put up that video that was kind of contrasting My Little Magnolia Network thing? The guy that just has an iPhone? The little guy fixing the engine. That was the same kind of thing you're talking about.
Oh yeah, but he's just has a YouTube channel. I'm talking like, you know, a company that like wants a production or something.
Oh, well, sometimes maybe a company wants that. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, they don't need me. Just call him up. All right, well that's it. So we never figured out how to end the show. It's one thing we never talk about. So now what?
No idea.
All right, well, I'm just gonna. There was no score.
Who was more persuaded? I think I was probably more persuaded by you.
I don't know. Anybody in the comments got anything to say? So just for the record, we're trying this for. I kind of wanted to see how hard it would be to talk for an hour, and it's actually pretty. I don't know, Adrian. You think it's hard to talk for an hour?
It wasn't so bad. It's timed out pretty well. I think we had the right premise. Like, if we changing the subject as we did and bringing stuff that. Like, I talked about things I probably don't normally feel comfortable talking about, and the same with you is like the ability to kind of react to it, I think helps. But yeah, I think right now we're probably right on the cusp of this is probably just more than enough.
Yeah, you're right. The hour show is definitely enough. Paul White says he won.
Yes, he did. He won because he didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, because he just get to watch us be idiots here. So
that's great. Awesome.
Well, I'm definitely. It seems to be I'm also watching my machine to see like what its threshold is, and I'm definitely pushing it right now. Like, I think it could take a little bit more, but you know, these are the kind of things you can't really simulate just by practicing. You have to actually like go through it, and then that whole thing with your browser or whatever. So, well, hey, listen. Yeah, like maybe this is something we can try again in some other places, or I mean, I know this is something I've been trying to do with Morgan Media, so it's actually interesting to go through the paces and try it.
Didn't you say you have the ability to have callers? I would love callers.
Like audio call?
Yeah, like if they were to call in.
Yeah, we could try that for the next one.
That would be fun. That would be fun to phone somebody in. People will get a kick out of that, I think. The two people watching it, Paul, your wife, and your mom, and Josh.
Well, he says it was great. He enjoyed listening. Thanks, Paul.
Oh.
At least somebody checked this out.
He's our only. There's more people in the production than viewers right now, right?
Let's see. There's two of us. We got, I don't know. There's 4 people watching us on Facebook, and we got going on over here?
This is probably what it really should be, is just us reacting to people typing something and then they put it up.
2 viewers on YouTube. Probably one of them is my mom. Nobody watched. 1 viewer on Twitch, so it's pretty terrible. Oh, we got 5 viewers now. Maybe we should just talk to the audience.
Maybe that's what it is. We'll just react to what they say.
Patty, are you still watching this? Type something. Your wife's not watching this, right? She's probably got better things to do.
No, putting the kids to sleep, probably.
Right.
Now we need background music. If we're just going to wait for people to comment.
All right. I can hook it up. Let's see.
Don't put up another one of mine samples. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's one of the greats.
Oh, we have from Jimmy. He wants. This is slippery territory over here. No. Well, see,
I love
Jimmy,
I love my job. I love it.
No, Jimmy, we made a rule. See here, if we had anything has to do with work, it gets the. No, we can't talk about work. So.
Hey, did Jimmy see the LED wall cool technology portion?
Jimmy, did you see that LED wall portion thing? Here, bring that thing back up again real quick.
I'm pulling it up right now. It's playing. Here, we put the
my friend Brian wants me to take off my shirt. I don't think so.
Wow.
All right, Jimmy, look at this. Explain to him what it is. He probably can't. He probably can't.
So those are waterproof LED screens that are modular. So you can put the 8 they have there, or it could be 6, it could be 20. They could be at all angles and everything, and they just operate as just like an giant LED screen. So imagine it being up against the wall. Just get a laptop and throw some imagery up there.
Or hanging from a grid or part of your set or something. But you know what the problem with that is? Then it's like you've created one more job for somebody to like put the content on the screen. Like it's hard enough to sit here and run the stream as it is. Like, could you imagine having to put all those noodles and shoelaces on that thing, or whatever is going on right there?
Well, I mean, let's be real too. Like some of this imagery is fantastic.
Of course.
To me,
they're not gonna pick crappy imagery. Jimmy says it sounds cheap.
I really think that the quote I found was $1,800 a screen. So, if we have a budget of $10,000, then what? We're getting like 6 of them? No, 5.
How many does it take to make 16:9?
I don't know. I don't know the dimension. I would imagine that 8 is probably the right cut. They also have a giant LED poster also.
Poster. I like when the guy was spraying it with the hose.
That I thought was very practical. So I guess they made a poster of it. So they took 6 of them.
Okay, so it takes 6 to make a 16:9.
3 by yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's cool.
I guess.
Great. Can't wait
Hey. It sounds like to me this should become like we're gonna be here, and it's almost like the water dunk tank at the carnival.
Yeah. Well, we have 5 viewers now. Jimmy, we were talking about Bitcoin and GameStop earlier, but I think
so Jimmy should be the one that phones in. Then is what he get him on the call in.
All right, my mom's got another question here. Okay, what inventions from people stuck at home from the coronavirus? I guess inventions.
I don't know. We play a lot of card games now, so if anything, we've gone more old school than anything new, for sure.
I know my wife wasn't much of a Zoom person beforehand, and now she's doing it all the time. I think mostly out of necessity, but I think that's like this video conference thing. I mean, look, even what we're doing right now. I mean, okay, look, there's nothing different about what we're doing. Like this kind of thing has been around since like the 70s and 80s. It's just been done by news networks, but now this is like the new thing where 2 idiots like you and me can have a split screen and just have a conversation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're kind of used to this now. The collage kind of presentation for sure.
Jimmy thinks that I'm winning because I have more blinky lights. It's Jimmy. That's my MikroTik router, just like the one at the place.
Yeah, I don't have blinky lights. I just have my 2 lighting kits in here, or my 1 lighting kit. My 2 umbrella lights is all I have to make it look decent.
All right, so this is the part of the show where it gets lame, I guess. So we just call it a day.
Actually, you know what? If we're gonna do it again, we're gonna do it like this. I don't know.
We
if
just
the
sit
5
here
minutes,
and like.
Well, we'll just have stuff ready to play, and we'll just sit and talk about it. Let's not have a timer
Let's
and
do
just
that
like.
then. Okay, how about what else we got here? Let me go back to this guy. I want to talk more about this guy. Where is he here? Let me just play a little bit more of this. I'm just gonna jump ahead here.
Hey, the driver's side window's rolling down. Give her a snore to this. Come on now. Wow, she must be a.
I'm just gonna stop it here and say, like, for people who are into cars, like, we just love other people trying to start cars. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like this mystery of like, will it start?
Drinker. Let's give her some more. Well, that oil's hotter than the devil.
Does that dude like have a microphone on him or something?
Yeah, he's got a lav on.
Bring it down! Bring it down! Sorry about all the noise, but that's just the way she goes, you know?
I mean, the best part is he's just out there by himself. Like, I mean, in this, the amount of footage he must collect, it must be incredible. Like, and then he's got to edit it down. I mean, this is like an hour-long video, but like, I literally watch these things from front to back. Like, I can't get enough.
Fires right up.
Hysterical.
Oh yeah, I gotta remember I only got no fuel. Brake light comes on, hardly anything, all the way to.
I guess the point though here is like, he's just a personality. Like, he's great. Like, I just want to watch him do stuff. Like, that's, you can really carve yourself out a niche online. You know what I mean? Do you follow anybody like that?
Actually, I do. I'm pulling him up now. If I can find it.
Here, while you're working on that, we got an interesting one.
Okay.
Tracy wants to know about our skincare routines.
Cool on it.
Well, I wash my face. That's about all I do.
Oh, that's good.
Let me turn off. I gotta get. I guess I
You gotta get the YouTube Red, man.
I play enough. Okay, this is. If there's anybody I watch, I love any sort of restoration because I don't have the time or the tools to do it. But this one was very cool. So they took something like this. Here, I can even change the time. Let's see, playback speed, make it twice as fast. So they got like an old Hasbro Millennium Falcon, you know.
Oh yeah, I've seen these. A guy fixes the toys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they do like the craziest shit with it. They do the whole like UV light on the plastic. That's just
what is that?
So it gets out the all this light that's been absorbed into the plastic, so it goes from yellow back to white.
Oh.
So that when you get the finish, and then like I don't know where the dude gets it from, and I shouldn't assume it's a dude. It could also be a female. It could be anybody, but they get like the original stickers reprinted, and so this thing looks literally like $1,000 product at that point, and it looks amazing.
I think it's cool that people can. Yeah, it's like I don't want to do that, but I just want to watch him do it.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch, and just to show. I just wanted to show a little bit, but it's like 16 minutes, and sometimes I'll just let that stuff run, and it'll just kind of sit there. Maybe I'll, it goes back to the aquarium thing. It just kind of sits there and look. I don't know.
Somebody was asking somebody on Twitch, Fox RSP. I guess he was talking about the other video we had before. He wants to know how that video got to 2.7 million views.
Oh,
yeah,
the rotor, the car thing.
I guess the car. I think it's just the idea of him like rescuing the car and is gonna. Plus, he's just a personality.
Yeah.
Jimmy likes the toy fixing videos. He says it's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Absolutely. That's why I subscribed to the channel. Definitely.
All right, so we get more hits at it just being stupid and going on the internet.
Well, that's what I said. Now we've become the water dunk tank at the carnival. People could take their shots at us and we'll react. That's probably what it should be.
If anybody wants to put a comment in the like a video for us to check out in the comments, we'll check it out. What do you got?
We'll watch anything.
I'll watch
As long as
anything,
it's
yeah. Actually, yeah, maybe
as
that's the
long-
way to do it.
Well, you got to be careful with that because the kind of crap that's on Reddit, man.
Dude, somebody's gonna. I would rickroll. Let's.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will. Well, I can't stay on too much longer, but I definitely feel we've found the right way to approach this. It's
Yeah,
not the
doing it
5
again.
versus. Yeah, I think it's the like let's get up here and let people put on the boxing gloves and take a shot.
Jimmy wants to see the camera rig. I don't know that I could show that unless I had a mirror or something. Nope, can't do that.
Mine's not fancy. I just bought one of those little $20 webcams from Target. And it's sitting on my laptop since the FaceTime camera is not as movable. Like this one gave me a little more motion to kind of move things around. But he's not asking about me.
I don't have Jimmy, the NDI camera that only works with new tech. I don't know if it would work with this, so I don't think I'd be able to do it quickly. And I don't have another camera ready to go. Oh, you know what I might be able to do? Hold on, let's see. I could probably do.
Are you gonna do an overhead, or
No, I
or
could
another
do.
angle?
Let me see here. Let me just add a desktop capture. All right, so Jimmy, this is vMix that you were asking about. So I have like the virtual sets here, then all the media for the show, the different lower thirds and stuff. This I just added there, and then these are all the inputs, and then there's an audio mixer that's on the other screen over here. It's just this. Then of course I got my Stream Deck.
Yep. Looks real easy.
All right, great, terrific. Well, I guess that's the end of the stream. We got, yeah, Jimmy says we're the two old dudes from the Muppets. Yeah, well, that's what our thumbnail on the thing was. So, great.
We didn't get to complain about too much, though,
Yeah,
or make
All
fun
right.
of something. But
let's get out of here. This was fun.
yep,
All
this
right,
is good.
well, I'll stop the stream. We'll see how. Yeah, I guess maybe that's why you got to put a thing on the end to help us get out of this.
We'll
Oh
put the
boy,
music
this is
back on
terrible.
and
Oh yeah. Where's that at?
just put the music and then put your logo up.
All right, here you go. I'll just.
Till next time.
Yep.